Yeah. Well, alrighty then. I am back from my wonderful little hotel holiday over there in San Francisco, staying at the Hotel Zoe in the Zoe Suite. I mentioned I didn't pay much for that suite because I spent about $140 my own cash money, US dollars, and about 20,000 American Airline points. Reward points. And use that for the hotel room. So for the cost, even cheaper than the crappy room, I got the best suite they had there. Pretty nice hotel. Certain things still aren't open, the restaurant and whatnot, because of the pandemic. That's how things go. Same thing could be said for the area we stayed in, Fisherman's Wharf, the Embarcadero. A lot of the restaurants there are closed. A lot of the attractions are closed, and I don't know which ones are closed temporarily, which ones have gone out of business and are no longer going to return, because that's the reality that we're waking up to, isn't it? Anyways, all that aside, surprisingly few people down there. It was a Thursday, not a weekend. And, you know, I mentioned to some people, oh, I'm going to San Francisco, hanging out Fisherman's Wharf area, and they're like, oh, all the homeless people, I heard it's real bad down there. And you know what, honestly, I didn't see very many homeless people at all. From what I gather, they're pretty well kept over to the market area, Union Square, that sort of thing. But I did have a great time exploring the Presidio area. I'd never really gone there, never knew much about it. Crissy Beach, Fort Mason, the Vista Point on the other side of the bridge, on the ocean side. Really cool. Driving over the bridge to Sausalito, checking out that really neat houseboat community. What a cool thing that is, you know. I always thought they just had those houseboat communities up in Seattle, or maybe, you know, I don't know where else they do that sort of thing. But apparently in Sausalito, quite a little houseboat community. Super rad, awesome. What a neat way to live, huh? Right there. Most of them didn't look like they ever left their dock, as it were, but still kind of a neat alternative way to live. Well, I'm back in the town of Tracy, back in my van, of course, as you can see. And the time I spent in San Francisco, just a quick in and out trip, just a little bit of a fun overnight stay, really opened my eyes, because I've been hesitating since I got in the van going to these cities. Of course, you know, with the pandemic and everything going on, I really had no motivation to go to the bigger cities. I think it's about time I start venturing over there. I was eyeballing a lot of spots that would be cool to park up all day and hang out, places for overnight parking in the city. I did notice that most of the meters are only metered from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m., something like that. Maybe it was 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. Either way, overnight, the meters don't cost nothing down in that Fisherman's Wharf area. Even the valet at the hotel mentioned as such. So if one were inclined to hang out, say, at Crissy Field all day, enjoy the beautiful sights, sounds of the bay, looking at the Golden Gate Bridge all super close up like that, enjoying the nice park atmosphere they have there, and then roll yourself in at night to one of those metered spots in a safe area. I think I could roll with that. There's a lot to explore just in the Presidio alone. And that's only a little sliver of what San Francisco has to offer. Not to mention going across the bridge to Sausalito. The first time I ever took a real, true van life trip was after working during the summer of 2020 up at Huntington Lake, up in the Sierra Nevada mountains, east of Fresno area. And I'd spent most of the summer up in the mountains, parked up at the marina there or at campgrounds in the area. And I never really got into what some people would consider real van life, parking on the streets in a place you don't know. And right at the end of summer, I jumped in my van and I headed up California's coastal highway, Highway 1, all the way up the coast, hitting the 101 when the one ended, all the way up into Oregon, Washington, up to Whidbey Island, Anacortes area. And, well, my first stop leaving Fresno was driving through San Francisco, and I pulled over in the town of Sausalito. Right off the exit, I drove down the street about a mile maybe, and found an awesome place to park. Think I might have video of it from when I was just there. Anyways, I could go on and on talking to you all day about how cool San Francisco is, what an awesome city it is, how it doesn't feel like any other city in the world that I've ever been to. It doesn't feel like a European city. European cities have a certain vibe. You know you're in Europe when you're in, say, Zurich or Hamburg. When you're in England, you know you're in England. When you're in Japan, I mean, it's unmistakable where you are. And when you're in San Francisco, you know, I reckon to say it's unmistakable that you are in San Francisco. There's nowhere quite like it. The amalgamation of architecture styles all blended together, old buildings, new buildings, being right on the bay, the hills, the way the houses stack up on top of those precariously. Such a cool area. Anyways, enough of my long-winded diatribe about what I want to do, what I'm gonna do after this weekend passes. Next week, I am planning on heading into the Bay Area and spending at least a good week there, exploring, finding cool places to chill for the day, finding great places to park up for the night. And you never know what happens when you're out there in the wild city, in that concrete jungle. But I know it's going to be fun and exciting, and I can't wait because I had so much fun there the last couple days. I can't wait to get back and just enjoy that cool weather, the breeze that comes off the bay, the smell of the salt water in the air, all that fresh seafood everywhere, and maybe a seal or two. Anyways, at this point, I'm just chilling here at my favorite little park-in ride by the transportation center, waiting on my friend to come pick me up, and we're gonna go to a real old-fashioned movie, inside of a movie theater. I know, I'm pretty excited about this. We're gonna go see the new Guy Ritchie movie with Jason Statham, super sexy bald man. Another cool thing when I was looking at the theater website is they're trying to get people in there, and they're renting the entire movie theater. Not the entire theater, but an entire theater within the complex. You can rent a theater for $99, and up to 20 people can attend. And they have a whole list of movies, some new ones, some old ones. The newer ones are a little more pricey, but the old ones, like you could go there and watch Spaceballs on the big screen with 19 of your closest friends, or 12 of your most hated enemies, and a couple of friends, just to keep it, balanced out a little bit. Only $99. Only $99. Super cool. I kind of want to do that. I've been talking to a couple of friends in the area. Probably going to plan a little movie night meetup down the road here. But for today, I'm hanging out in my good old studio apartment on wheels. I've missed it terribly. I mean, nothing more comfortable than a home. And when you're comfortable in your home, There's no place you'd rather be. Well, I have to say, I really did enjoy the old Guy Ritchie, Jason Statham flick. Now, it's not a movie to expand your mind in any capacity unless it's how to shoot people in the head with a single kill. That you're going to learn from this movie, not how to do it, but that apparently it can be done if you are Jason Statham. Now, it was very entertaining, very violent. A lot of shooting. That's right. Guy Ritchie movies tend to be that way. Now, it wasn't the typical Guy Ritchie movie in the sense that, he's known for like really flashy, kind of over-the-top dialogue and characters, especially in his British gangster movies like Snatch, Lock, Stock, Two Smoking Barrels, those such things. But it did retain a bunch of the Guy Ritchie action tropes that he's known for. Really cool action sequences, really well filmed. And Jason Statham, he is what he is. If you hear starring Jason Statham, you know Jason Statham is showing up to play Jason Statham in whatever name they give him in that movie. And this thing about acting, some actors are really good at just being themselves and making it look effortless. They just walk in and they do their thing, and the character kind of melts into who they are. But there's another kind of acting where the actor goes outside of themselves, and you don't even recognize them as the person that played that role because they're so transformative in the way they do a voice maybe, or an appearance, affect, or just the general feeling they portray in that character. But not all acting's the same, not for the same purposes, and in a movie like this, a little high-tech robbery type shoot 'em up, well, there's no room for character actors in these type of things unless they're playing like side roles that are just kind of like funny little characters that pop in and out. Well, I really enjoyed the movie. 2 thumbs up. And what I really enjoyed more than the movie is the ability to go to the movies. Some movies just don't translate when you're watching them at home or on your computer or on your phone jobby. Movies were made and intended to be on a big screen with big sound around you. And some of them, I hate to say this, some of them are even better when there's other people in the theater watching them with you. And especially comedies, when you get that crowd reaction, somebody laughing triggers you to laugh because you're like, it's kind of funny, but that guy's laugh is hilarious. Anyways, I love movies. I've been kind of out of the movie spirit recently during the pandemic because you're just not allowed to go. I used to be that guy that had the movie pass card and would go every day to every movie that was playing, whether you wanted to see it or not, just to kind of take up time in my day. But as things are reopening, I might end up getting that pass again. You never know. And having said all that, I just wanted to say, have a great day. Thank you if you made it this long in this giant talking head piece I made today, just reflecting on my trip in San Francisco and a nice little normalized style date night that I had.